All right, well, some are calling it an Obamacare numbers game that simply is not adding up for taxpayers. Hi, everyone. Glad to have you. I'm Neil Cavuto. And with a federal judge this week ruling, actually upholding, that health insurance subsidies in 34 states are covered under the new government exchange, and that can continue. And fewer young Americans are signing up for the health care law. And if that continues, we've got serious cost problems with this law. You have to ask yourself this. Is this thing measuring up? Are its costs just going up? No wonder Charles Payne is fed up and actually thinking taxpayer bailout. Is he going too far? Ben Stein, Sandra Smith here to debate it, as well as Adam Lashinsky here in the flesh and Charlie Gasparino. Charles Payne, what do you make of all of this?
Neil, I got to tell you, we were asked to suspend common sense when they pitched this to us, and it's only gotten worse since then. And the red flag was when Congressman Doyle told the world that, hey, my adult son, we don't have to pay his premiums anymore. You, the American taxpayer, are paying it. I mean, you want to talk about outrageous, and now, even if you're in a state with its own exchange, you still have to fork over money to pay up to 400% of the premium of other people. You added at the top. Young people aren't getting involved. All the math on this points to some sort of massive implosion or massive tax hike. On who? I don't know, but it's a disaster, and we can see it coming.
What I love about you, Charles Payne, is week in and week out, you can maintain this anger.
That's why you got me in a cage this week.
That would be my fault, I'm
there
guessing.
We go. Yeah, how we arrange this seating pattern is beyond me. But, Sandra, what do you make of that? And quite the legitimate fears a lot of folks have that the numbers aren't adding up here, and they're worried that they're going to go astronomically higher.
Well, and this is a bailout, let's be clear, in every sense of the word. So people at home probably don't want to or probably don't have time to dig through the numbers, but I tried to wrap my mind around this. But we're looking at the fact that if the insurers underperform by 8% or more, that the government then steps in and covers 80% of those costs. And by the way, it's the other way around, too. If the insurers outperform by 8% or more, then they have to share 80% of those profits with the government. So lose-lose for them. But this is a bailout by every sense of the word. I can guarantee you right now the left is going to try to come up with every which way to say that this is not a bailout by definition. It certainly is.
Well, Charlie Gasparino, I had no idea what she said, but I'm outraged. What does this mean?
I think you consider it a bailout if taxes go up, if costs go up. That is not going to happen. Politically, that can
Well, the understanding, just to put in layman's terms here, that if the insurance companies are under extreme duress and they just can't keep up with this, then the only other alternative is to bail them out or help them out, because then this whole thing goes completely, right?
You're telling me a Republican Congress, and there's a good chance we're going to have a Republican Senate, is going to approve that. That is not going to happen politically.
Will they approve bailouts for banks?
Yeah, because the whole financial system was going to implode, and that did not cost extra money.
What if this was melting? If this were melting, you don't think they'd do the same?
It's not the same as the banking system.
Oh, really?
And by the way, it ain't happening. It's never going to happen.
You go back to tell people they're going to lose their insurance because their company's going belly up?
They will dismantle this program
I'm just saying
before it gets bailed out.
Be careful, I mean, of distinguishing your meltdowns.
Yeah, but there's a big difference in the way Sandra presented it. This is a bailout, pure and simple, and Charlie presented it, which is...
Well, Sandra at least used numbers. Sandra used numbers and facts.
But
this is written into the law. Those numbers are written into the law, by the way.
Subsidies are written into the law, yes. Increased taxes on the people who can pay are written into the law. The Congressman Charles that you mentioned, his adult son is going to get this subsidy, but not forever, and that's part of the program. Now, I know you don't want it. Hold on, let me finish. I know you don't want it ever, but the point is, it's not going to last forever. That's one of the subsidies, one of the taxes, but that does not mean this is going to need a bailout. It might, but it might not.
It won't.
All right, well, it might not. But I do find, guys, I do find it interesting that Ben Stein's in Toronto right now. So he's already moved.
There's socialized medicine there.
Ben, what do you make of this?
Well, I think that they scrambled up an egg, and now we're trying to figure out how to unscramble it. It was always scrambled up. We never knew what was in the bill. We always knew it was going to be a transfer of wealth from well-to-do people to less well-to-do people. We always knew there were going to be inequities. We always knew there was going to be confusion. There was never any good reason to do it this way. Mr. Obama just rammed it through on the basis of his majorities in Congress and his popularity after his election. We always knew it was going to be a mess, and sure enough, it's a mess. So how we're ever going to get out of this mess is a very good question. How we're ever going to make it operate is a very good question. How it's ever going to be fair and equitable is a very good question. Why they didn't just do the Nixon thing of just giving a check to everybody who
That's
couldn't
what they
afford to
should have
buy
done.
health insurance
That
and
is
have
so
them
true.
buy health insurance. I have no idea.
That is so
Well,
true.
Charles Payne, now whether you like it or not, it is what it is. And Republicans, of course, want to just turn away from it. There's another strategy that says, well, let this thing go of its own course and die on the vine of its own accord. I don't know if that would happen that way, right?
Well, listen, to Charlie Gasparino's point, yeah, you may have a change in the Senate and the House, but the presidency is going to be the same for 3 years. And the argument is, are we going to let insurance companies go out of business and nobody has health insurance? And it's going to be a tough proposition. Ben just said that we knew it was going to be a wealth transfer. That's true, but we did not know that we were going to be subsidizing a single man, a grown adult who makes $45,000 a year, that somehow we would be on the hook to pay his premiums. We didn't really know that. We thought, at least they thought, the young people would sign up. It was kind of ludicrous. They're not signing up. So it is a ticking time bomb. By the way, it's going to blow up a lot sooner than Social Security will. This could go off in the next couple of years.
Well, I'll flip this around on you, Neil. I think that the approach of Democrats and Republicans will be to let this run. You say die of its own accord. I say it will be allowed to run and it will get better. More people will sign up. More young people will sign up. More. Well,
that's the hope, right? I mean, I talked to a lot of the architects behind this. And by the way, I admire the ones who still insist that I'm one of the architects behind this. It was sort of like saying, yeah, my building fell down, but I'm the guy who built it. But nevertheless, they are saying that, look, give this time. The number and the trend is our friend. Do you honestly buy that? Because even assuming you get millions more to sign up, millions more are going to continue to lose coverage, so you're still net going to be down.
No, I do honestly buy it because I think it picks up steam. As it begins to work, it begins to work more.
Only in the most perfect world,
but wait a minute,
Adam. Only in the most perfect
Adam, follow
world.
what you're saying. Those who have coverage through their employer now, millions of them won't have that coverage. You would have to say that they're going to be shifted into something else, whether it's an exchange, a private exchange, not what they have. There's going to be a big adjustment. So net, a year from now, you'll likely have fewer people with health insurance than you do now. And the whole idea of this was to cover everybody. But that seems stupid.
But you're assuming a situation where nothing changes, where nobody else picks up health insurance from their employer for any reason, where nothing grows, the economy doesn't grow.
No, I think you'll have a pickup there, but you'll also have more losing. So in the end, you get more losing than gaining. And that is generally not good.
You know, if you really think this is going to work, I suggest look at the CBO report on the cost savings of it.
I thought you were going to tell me that I should subscribe to one of the exchanges if I really
well, that too. That too. But that's a good point. I should have thought of that. But but think of if you look at the CBO report, there are 400 caveats to this thing saving on any money. That's why it's not going to work. There's no such thing as a perfect world.
I don't believe. Wait. 400
caveats.
Did you read it?
No.
Read it.
There's no Obama policy that makes sense.
Okay.
Go ahead,
Neil, there's no Obama policy that makes sense. I mean, his foreign policy doesn't make sense. His economic policy doesn't make sense. There's nothing about it that makes sense. It's just all confusion, and this is just the most clear-cut example of the confusion.
All right. Well, then I'll put you down as a maybe on the president.